Hi there and welcome to my video on the Trinity College Grade 4 song Andantino by Ferdinando Carulli. A lovely song this, lots of lovely features for us to discuss and see how we can make a lovely piece of music come to life. The first thing that I always tend to look at, as you know, if you see my videos, is we'll look at the key signature. So we've got no sharps or flats, so that's telling us in this piece the key of the song is A minor, and the time signature is 6 beats in a bar, 6 quaver beats. So that's split like this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 2 pulses, 2 beats, each split into 3, and that just gives us a slightly different feel to maybe songs that we've played in the past. Beginning, as you can see, we have the music defined perhaps unusually in this case. We have phrase markings, which is nice, so that helps us understand the phrasing of the piece, and I think that's a more prevalent issue as we go along into the higher grades, to understand the phrasing of songs so that we get like a sentence feel, a start and an end, and then maybe a new idea with a new phrase, repeats. Also question and answers type phrasing, just adds a lot more dynamics and expression to the music. So starting off, the first thing that I really tend to do, and the best advice I can give in learning a piece like this, is of course to do it in small chunks, but to do it a phrase at a time. And let's just see how the right hand's going to be used here, and also what we can do with the left hand. A good technique to use for learning the left hand notes, I think, is really just to form the chord shapes before you're even going to play. So the first one, we've got A and C down, of course, and then we're going to play a G and a B, and then we're going to go back to A and C, and then we've got an A with a C in the bass, like that. So I guess that's an A minor chord with a C in the bass. And so just by practicing how to change between these chords will give you a great understanding of how you're going to play with your left hand before we even try to play the music. And I think you could look at that for every single phrase. So for example, in phrase 2, we've got a D minor chord there. We could put finger 2 on a C, we're going to move that up, and then we're going to move that down. And then there's a finger 1 that goes on a D sharp. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of chords here that we're going to play. So we might as well get used to playing those and just forming them before we even play the music. So maybe I'll pick up that more in each phrase as we go along. The right hand, again, I would use the fingerings that's been suggested here. We're going to use the ring finger, the A finger, for string 1, and I and M for strings 2 and 3, and of course this might change as the song goes along, but it'd give you a good start for the song. The one other thing I want to talk about really is actually preparation of left and right hands. So I'm going to start with the chord already down, and I'm not going to play my whole set of right hand fingers on here, but each time I play, so for example, when I play the first note, the E, I could put my thumb down to start with, and then I'm going to prepare my right hand fingers 1 and 2 so that they're actually on the string ready to go. So when I play, they're on, and then I've actually put my ring finger, the A finger, back on string 1 in preparation to play. It's kind of called sequential planting. It's a way of anticipating the next note that's coming along, and it gives you a lot more stability on your right hand here in knowing the strings that you're going to play. So it's a great technique to have. Another song for this that we'll be looking at is Milonga, where we're using lots of sequential planting to help us really get great contact with the string before playing, and it gives a great deal of comfort in our playing. Moving along then, so we have phrase 1, just the counting really I think to pick up here now. So we start with 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, The phrases are not only are they marked in the music, but also they're marked by dynamics. So we get this strong first phrase and like a little response to it by going to MP mezzo piano. So I'll look at the next phrase. We'll do this in the dynamic. So we're a little bit quieter now. I've got finger 4 on D, not finger 3 here. So we get 6, 1, 2, 3. Now use finger 2. Use finger 2 on there because that's going to go up to the D, and we're going to have a B on string 4 with a D bass. Then those 2 fingers come back down to form a little A minor chord. Bar 4, we get finger 1 on a D sharp. There's a little tenuto mark, a little line above it, so that means hold it for its full value. You could have put a slight inflection on it if you wish. And then to the E major chord. Okay, to finish that phrase off. So let's play those 2 phrases and let's see what they sound like. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see that I've just moved into the next phrase. So fingers 2 and 3, always good just to do a little practice of guiding the fingers along. Just lift them off the strings down. We don't want big slur sounds, glissando sounds. We just want them to glide along the strings. You just release the pressure and move them at the appropriate time. So phrase 3 is a repeat of phrase 1. So we get 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a quick point there, I perhaps should have mentioned it earlier on. When we get the phrasing, the time signature 6/8, we need to get a strong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite so strong on the second pulse, just slightly weaker than beat 1 there. That takes us to the 4th phrase, MP again. We have an E to start with. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really, with the sforzando appearing there, we can aim for the sforzando and really make that a very strong beat and actually hold that maybe a little bit longer. It kind of feels like we could hold it longer and then just give a nice response to it with the A minor chord with the C in the bass is a bit quieter. So we end up with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it just gives a really nice feel to ending that phrase. It's kind of your choice how you want to do it. You can play it strictly in time, but sometimes you can just borrow some time and just hold on that chord a bit longer. 4, 5, 6.